Plagues on Egypt. Let me read Exodus 9:18. You can look at the chart while you listen. Starting at Exodus 9, verse 18. It says, Tomorrow, at this time, I'll rain down the worst hail that has ever occurred in Egypt from the day it was founded until now. Therefore, give orders to bring your livestock and all that you have in from the field into shelters. Every person and animal that is in the field and not brought inside will die when the hail falls on them. Verse 23. So Moses stretched out his staff towards the heaven, and the Lord sent thunder and hail. Lightning struck the earth, and the Lord rained down hail on the land of Egypt. Throughout the land of Egypt, the hail struck down everything in the field, both man and beast. The hail beat down every plant in the field and shattered every tree in the field. Okay, so do we doubt that this is really going to happen during the tribulation?
No.
We better not. We better not. Remember when we started, there were the four angels holding back the winds. They were being held back. What do you think happened when that occurred? What do you think happened to the plants and
The weather.
Oh,
Got dry.
the weather changed.
probably got real dry, huh?
No rain or anything.
No rain, no wind.
So it kind of fits in with this, that if the fire, hail, and everything happens right after that, it's going to be like California, right? Unstoppable. It's just going to burn everything in its path. You just feed the fire, and it'll go. Exodus 7:3 says, let's read that. I can't really wait to get to chapter 9. I just can't get it out of my head. 7:3. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart and multiply my signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. Pharaoh will not listen to you, but I will put my hand on Egypt and bring out the ranks of my people from Israel out of the land of Egypt by great acts of judgment. I think that's what we're talking about here, these angels, and what they're about to do is judgment from God. And it's like the Pharaoh, the people are not going to get it. They're going to miss it. Okay? Now, is that God-inspired missing it? Yeah? I think so. I think the scripture, and we're going to read some in the future here, that kind of indicate that delusion we've talked about. We ask how, when you only got a few, I think it's down to like a little over 1.5 billion people left on earth, period, that they're still not going to believe. Is that a delusion from God? You'd almost think. And why? It's so God can prove His greatness. His works will be shown. Okay. All right. Verse 8. And the second angel blew his trumpet, and something like a great mountain ablaze with fire was hurled into the sea, so the third of the sea became blood. Now, you look at these, and you say the first trumpet caused hail mixed with blood. What is that? What might the mixed with blood be? Now, think, John's. You ever watch those pictures of Hawaii and the volcanic reactions and what is streams of red, right? Maybe that was his only way he could explain what he was seeing, right? So we're talking hail, fiery hail. Sodom and Gomorrah had fiery hail, and I showed you the video, maybe it's time to show it again, of the whole Sodom and Gomorrah thing, and the sulfur that was burning is still in nodules. When it hit the ground, it melted the earth around it and encased it, and then it blocked off the oxygen, which shut it down. You can go, and you can see those nodules on the ground, break them open, and light them. And they'll light. They'll burn. So evidence showed. You didn't see that video? Maybe we'll have to show that. That's a neat video. We don't have enough time. I think it was 15 minutes. Maybe we'll show that next time. God's proved out. I mean, it happened. See, it's not fake, and it's not a vision that's symbolic of other things. Now, again, like Revelations, there's parallel things going on, and we're going to see that when I was talking about Constantinople. There are things going on in the Roman world, the church, and the early church and the Roman church at the time, and down through history. So there is some parallel things going on. Oh, I forgot that chart was there. Okay, so you can see the correlation between what Exodus and what happened over in with all the trumpets that we're going to go through. All right, so where are we? Okay, so this one in verse 8, what do you think? What do you think it might be?
The red tide. When the fire hits the seawater and heats it up to an abnormally high temperature, then the algae, which everybody calls the red tide, that kills all the fish and all, would grow.
Mountain ablaze. Start with there. You're right. Mountain ablaze, big meteor maybe. That's what I see. I think it's referring to what would be a very large meteor. Anybody thinking that there might be a meteor someday?
All the scientists look
Yeah.
for them.
More movies, and Carter's got liver pills now. He's got meteors falling everywhere.
Oh, it goes higher than that. They just launched a satellite to look for them.
Yeah. Okay.
And I guess there's nothing to say that, back to not limiting God, a volcano could erupt and blow the mountain right out of the ground.
Second trumpet says
Yeah.
that.
There's been numbers of times.
I mean, second angel says that.
There's been numbers of times when the water's been turned red, so that's not uncommon. It could be more than just an algae bloom. It could be the chemicals that were in this asteroid or whatever it is immediately dispersed.
If it's close to like a volcano, one time the water gets close when it erupts, it turns acidic. It kills all the fish. It melts through, boats and stuff like that. So.
Right, we're going to talk about that too in the next chapter.
I like to think of it as a corrosion tide.
All right. What do you think you are, me?
So each state is not used in Alabama?
Okay, verse 9, it says, "And a third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed."
So that means it's going to be basically localized.
Yeah, well, yeah. Now, we always hear the calamity that if we get one of these mega asteroids, it's going to create conditions that go into the ice age and all this kind of stuff. Well, that's not what it tells us is going to happen.
No, let's just suppose, it's just for the heck of it. It's a mount like Mount Hood in Washington. It's close. And it pops the cork and catches on fire and falls right into the ocean. I mean, that'd be pretty devastating. It may not be as devastating as one of these giant asteroids, possibly. If you just want to forget about it.
Well, one thing here is this is a judgment on the oceans, because the next one we're going to see is a different judgment on inland water and springs. Okay, all right.
He speaks of it as a third of the sea. That's pretty widespread.
Well, yeah, it sounds pretty much that it's going to land in one of the major ocean bodies, right? And it should be one that has a lot of shipping, because it's going to take you out. How many ships do you think we got today?
How many stores do they have?
Did you know that?
43,000 was the last, the last census.
Really, that's all.
Just by the United States.
43,000. That's what I dug up. In the world today, number of ships in the world today. Now I'm sure there's a definition of where a ship is defined so many tons and higher, right?
Right.
Right.
But if you see
A rowboat wouldn't be a ship.
that big,